This is Rob Tubber for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined again by the Haymaker, David Haye. We're here in Vauxhall celebrating your 10-year anniversary of becoming heavyweight champion. Congratulations, David.
Very much, yeah, here at the Park Plaza Hotel. Been here for the last 10 years, since I trained here for the fight against Nikolai Valuev. 10 years ago, it goes quick, it really does. But yeah, fond memories of that night in Nuremberg, lifting that WBA heavyweight title, something I'd said I'd do from day dot. And I remember walking to the ring thinking, this is it, this is the one, this is what I've been telling everyone I was going to do from the start, and don't mess up. And it worked out okay.
Talk to me about winning the world heavyweight title. You just mentioned the fact that it was always your dream growing up through the amateurs. How did it compare to becoming, say, unified cruiserweight champion, which is obviously a tremendous achievement?
Yeah, it was different. The cruiserweight in some ways, unifying was tougher in a certain way. Technically, it was tougher, but the heavyweight title was it was the big one. It was, maybe it's the difference between winning it, but being an Olympic gold medalist and then being the heavyweight champion of the world. The two boxing titles, but one means significantly more financially, it means more legacy wise, and it was just something that I knew it was just the heavyweight title meant something different. It was just that was for sort of more legacy, in terms of my internal struggles with the styles of different boxers. The cruiserweight angle was always tougher, fighting guys who were really fast, who were the same size as me and were tough and tougher than me. Mormeck was physically tougher than me. He could take a better shot than me. He was more compact. His defence was probably better. But I had to find a way to beat him, use my skills. So, it was ideal having the fight against Jacob Fragomeni, and before that, because that gave me a little taster of what it's like fighting a come-forward, tough fighter. And I won by the skin of my teeth. I got cut badly over my eye. So I could only fight with one eye in that fight, and I had to figure out the body shots were the key. So I learned the lesson. The way I got rid of Fragomeni, I couldn't do it with headshots. I had to break his body down. And during that fight, I kept hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. He just wouldn't go anywhere. I think in round 9, I went to the body, done with a left hook to the body, and he showed me the first time in the fight a sign of being hurt. And then I put the pressure on. So when it came to the Mormeck fight, I learned from the lessons I learned from the Fragomeni fight, I implemented in the Mormeck fight. So I exclusively worked his body, made sure that I know you've got a great chin, I've seen that in the past, but I got to soften you up with the body shots, and it worked a treat. Left hook to the body, was a real key for that, and the right hook kept digging him down. Any opportunity I could get downstairs, kept touching that body. So then when the time came in that round, after I got knocked down in the fourth round, I got back up and rallied on to round 7, and from round 7 to round 12 is when I was going to pick the pace up. And as soon as I started picking it up, he folded. So it worked out exactly as I anticipated. So I knew having a game plan, working with a strict instructions of, to the point where I had a certain amount of punches that I could only throw in the first 6 rounds. So I was trying to win the rounds or do as much damage with as few punches to try to conserve my energy. And then from round 7 to round 12 is when we then step up the volume and then go down the home straight. As in the past, his opponents have emptied the tank at him in the early rounds, and he tucked up and soaked up, and they run out of energy. Then he beat him in the later rounds. So I wanted to topsy-turvy on him, so it worked the truth. It's nice when you have a plan and it comes to fruition.
Talk to me about that plan. Obviously, Nikolai Valuev was a giant of a man. You still hold the record for the most size and weight given away in that type of fight. But you made your name, particularly as a cruiserweight, as a power puncher, as a knockout artist. Was it difficult for you in preparation for that fight to kind of rein it in and really box to instructions and not kind of go back to your old tendencies?
I knew I had to. All it would take against someone so big is a moment of distraction, trying to low land a knockout punch and walking onto one. That could change the whole outcome of the fight. All it took is one big shot from someone who weighs 320 pounds or whatever he weighs, and my legs are gone. Once my legs are gone, I can't dance around the ring. I'm a sitting target. So he'll then win the fight. So I had to somehow find a way to win the rounds by putting myself in as little danger of getting wobbled as possible or getting hurt. And to do that, I had a lot of good sparring partners putting the pressure on me, walking me down, and I had to get comfortable walking into range, tying him up when I need to, but trying to keep as much distance between me and him. More raiding tactics, stay out of range, stay calm, look like I'm in control, go in, land a bam, 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 land some shots, roll out, and then walk away calm, and let him look like he's the one, struggling and to try to really capture the minds of the judges that I was in control, sort of bull matador type of thing.
The judges ever come into your mind? Obviously, you're an away fighter in Germany.
100%. The judges, that was one of my biggest worries was if I couldn't knock him out. I thought I could knock him out going into it, to be honest. Until in the second round, I landed my knockout punch. I landed the perfect haymaker, and it bounced off him and just broke my knuckle. So I was like, yeah, okay, we can win this on points. So I then had to use my right hand quite sparingly, as I broke my knuckle, and that was pretty painful every time I landed. So when I did land it, I had to be solid and worthwhile. I don't want to be hitting his elbows and arms, making it worse. So it was definitely it was a game plan that it was tough to implement, as you don't know what the judges are scoring. You believe you believe if the judge is being fair, he will score it a certain way. So I had to try to make each point that I scored clear, and had to make it appear as though he had as little success as possible. I couldn't be getting caught with like a jab. All it takes is one jab from someone that big, and that knocks me back off balance. And then, okay, the judge go, oh, you won that round because you hit that one shot. But there was very few clean punches that he hit me with that sort of buckled my legs or knocked me off balance. And that was the plan, to try to keep it as clean as possible, make sure my shots were hard and crisp. And then for me to get out of range and slow the pace down and walk around like I was in control. It's all an illusion to the judges, trying to manipulate the judge's mind, but it's all a game. And one of the judges had it even. Two judges, I think, had me winning by 4 rounds. But I don't know what that one even judge was got. But even that judge is obviously very biased, going Valuev's way, and he could only make it a draw. So someone who clearly wanted Valuev the win could only make it a draw. So in my eyes, strangely every other worldwide territory who scored the fight had me winning significantly, except Sky. Sky were the only people who had me down on points. It's strange. So when it won, everybody was over the moon.
David Haye, better cruiserweight or heavyweight, and why?
I think I was probably a better cruiserweight. I was better cruiserweight because I'm a cruiserweight. That's why. It's simple. Heavyweight, I think on my day there, I could beat most heavyweights on my day when I was fighting. When I fought, the night I fought Nikolai Valuev, I was so physically good. Even the night I fought, the fight before that against Monty Barrett, the fight prior to that one, even the night, and the Ruiz fight, I wasn't at my best there, but it was an entertaining fight. I believe on my day, there are a few fighters out there that could beat me fair and square. I said it earlier on. I think realistically, looking back, all the heavyweights, past and present, I would have had a game plan to train for, and believe if I did this, I could win the fight, whether it be on points or by stoppage, I could find a way. But the only fighter out there that I've always looked at and just thought, I don't know what I would have done, is Lennox Lewis. He just seemed like a bigger, stronger version of, just better all round, tougher. He could take some stick. He could do, and he was fought in a tough era, fighting Holyfield and Tyson and Andrew Gallotta, Riddick Bowe. He beat in the Olympic final. He fought every single man in his era. Shannon Briggs from Razor Ruddock. Tommy Morrison. He's just done everyone. Even domestically, Gary Mason and Frank Bruno, he's done it. He beat every single person in his era, and the only two people that beat him, he got revenge and stopped them both. So he's the only. For me, he's like, going into a fight with him, I'd have fought him, but I'd have known deep down in my heart of hearts, I'm like, yeah, it's not going to go that well for you, this one. But everyone else, I'd have believed I had a shot. I could have come out with some strategy or tried to do something, but I think he's the only person I thought, I don't know what I'd have done. I'd have fought him, but it wouldn't have been nice to my face, I'll tell you that. It would have been good for my health. It would have been good for my health at all. Oh, yeah, it's too good.
We're talking about strategy. Obviously, the Valuev fight is a big example of that. How much credit? I mean, you and Adam Booth were kind of not to came as not as a pair, but you were
We were there from the start,
something like that. How
the same way? I know Frampton or Taylor were there from the McGuigan trained them from the start. You know, you get a coach. When a coach trains a fighter from their first pro fight, it really means something significant when they win something significant because they've been there from the start, particularly if they haven't done anything prior to that. So yeah, it's like you're a solid team, and to get from nowhere to the pinnacle of it, you know, it's a success not only for the boxer but for the coach and for the manager and for the strength and conditioning coach, for the whole team around. It really genuinely means something. So people see, you know, a fighter and his coach. It really means something.
How much of an influence was Adam in your career, and how much credit does he deserve for you not only becoming cruiserweight champion but also heavyweight champion?
Yeah, massive part of it. You know, I always said, as I said just then, the coach who trains the fighter from the start and goes there to they've succeeded in whatever goal it was, deserves so much credit. Because remember, you don't really. There's so many nights and so many days and so many sessions that you get no credit for, that you get no acknowledgement for. It's only when you do it that you get it. And there have been coaches over the years who've trained fighters who've just fall short. So the fighter didn't become world champion and they get no accolade whatsoever. And although they put the time and energy and effort in, but that particular fighter just wasn't good enough to do it. So does it, you know? But if you do have that fighter who has the ability, and you're the coach who has the strategy, and you know how to connect perfectly with that fighter, that's why so many fighters train with Adam Booth. And since that point, Adam's had other world champions since. There's no coincidence, and he will have more world champions moving forward. So I think it's definitely an achievement that It's an equal thing, you know. I've achieved my thing as a boxer to the highest level. He's done it as a coach to the highest level, and I think that you reap the rewards moving forward in your life. You know, he'll then train. Other fighters will see what he's done for me and see what he's done for his other fighters, and he'll then build his brand and his stable of fighters, and they can truly look at him and think, yeah, you're the guy because you train this guy, and moving forward. And it's a good thing as a coach as well. You can do it until you're 60, 70, you can still be a coach, you know, a strategist. Now, I remember speaking to Andrew Dundee, I think 2011 in Miami, one of the greatest ever coaches, trained Ali and Leonard, and just talking to him, he just said so much knowledge, so much experience, and so much know-how in boxing. He just got it so well. But you're not born with that. That's something that accumulates over years and years and years. And he got the recognition he deserved. He was a living legend. Unfortunately, he's passed away now. But I was so glad to spend as much time as I did with him, because it was just talking to the stories of Ali from the good old days, and it's nice to have just sort of felt a bit of that greatness. And you never know what coaches that are around today will be looked at as the way Andrew Dundee is today, you know, in 50 years' time. So all coaches, particularly if they've coached someone from the start to a world title, need to get the credit with the fans, because it's a tough, long slog of a journey, an unforgiving, most of the time unthankful job.
Okay, well, David Haye, always a pleasure to sit down with you. Congratulations, 10 years. It only seems like yesterday. I'm sure it does for you as well.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like 10 years at all. It's gone very, very fast. But a lot of head blows in that time, so that might have something to do with the memory loss. Yeah.
Well, you're still holding up okay from what I can see. Shame to not see you in Las Vegas last week, but I'm glad to have sat down with you today. The Haymaker.
Why aren't you in LA? Are you off to LA for?
No, I've got a couple of people that I'm a bit too old for it, I think.
Come on, man! You got to get involved. You still got the Billy Joe's doing his thing on there as well. You got to get out there.
Maybe next time. I'll be out for the third fight.
Okay.
David Haye, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Anytime.
Cheers, mate. Nice one.